Oh, you didn't know? Your ass better call somebody!
The energy revealed. Brooklyn to Queens, reppin' both hoods. Rob and CP, keep it fire, misunderstood. Cheer 'em all loud, let the anthem flow. Mets fans unite at the pregame show. From city sand lights to the skyline greens, it's the heartbeat of Queens, the craziest dreams. Rob hype on the mic, CP's the fire spark. Together they ignite, voices like the park. Fans drift in jerseys, legacy bold. The Metropolitan story forever told. Turnstile spinning, the crowd floods the gates. This is family, no time for debates. Crack of the Batman, the roar never fades. Queens in the blood, it's how champions are made. Cheer 'em all loud, let the anthem flow. Mets fans unite at the pregame show. From city stand lights to the skyline gleams, it's the heartbeat of Queens, the craziest dreams. 7-line swagger, vibes electric and wild. Mets legacy golden since I was a child. Orange crushed skies, let the battle ignite. We ride for the home team till the last fight.
What's up, Mets fans? Welcome back to the Amazing Mets pregame show right here on the channel and on X as we get started on this late afternoon Sunday with the rubber game in the Bronx against the New York Mets and the New York Yankees, as the Mets did win 3-2 yesterday in Yankee Stadium to have a rubber game today in Game 3 with David Peterson on the mound for the Mets and Max Fried for the Yankees. And you know what? Yesterday was a pretty fun, it was an interesting game. No, let's be honest. It was interesting. A lot of nothing came out of the offenses yesterday. Nothing. Like, let's be honest. Both teams, you can look at the runs all you want. Teams like the Yankees and like the Mets have struggled with runners in scoring position. That has been both of their problems the entire year. Now, when they do score runs, they score a lot, but it's in bunches. And usually you get games like this. The Mets have been extremely good in close games this year throughout the entire season. So there is no shock that they won a game like this. Now, Game 1 definitely was the MO of the Mets. They couldn't score runners in scoring position. Yesterday, they couldn't score runners in scoring position. You know, they got a late sack fly and ended up winning the ball game. And that is just how it came out. Like, it was a well-played game for the most part. Like, the pitching was solid for the most part. And Clark Schmidt had issues, but if you look beyond the walks, the Mets couldn't touch him for the most part. Same thing, you know, with Griffin Cannon. He pitched really well. I mean, opportunities the Yankees had, they couldn't score when they needed to. And that is the thing. And it is amazing the fact that the New York Mets won a game that they've won all season, and that has been close games. And that is something that has been a trend with this team. You know, the offense still is struggling. That's no doubt about that. But they find a way to get that run. They do. And when it's a close game, you should have all the confidence in the world in the New York Mets. Even if they're 0 for 10 with runners in scoring position, they seem to find a way late in the game if the game is close to win a ball game. And that's what they did yesterday, right? The vaunted Yankee bullpen, they gave it up yesterday. And can we be honest here? How do you let Soto steal third base on you? Like, you had the guy for a year. You know he sneaks stolen bases. He's done that his entire career. Did it with the Nationals. He did it in the playoffs against the Mets with the Padres. He did it with the Yankees last year. And he did it twice to you in the first 2 games of the series. You can't let that happen. And it ultimately led to the sac fly that won the Mets the ball game. Like, that's something that should get Yankee fans more mad, that the fact that you're worrying about Juan Soto. And Yankee fans are still doing that. Like, Soto was a part of the Mets win yesterday. You were so focused on him until they got into the base path. And he's done this his entire career. Again, I know Yankee fans, they got very tunnel vision in their eyes. They don't see nothing else unless it directly affects him. And Soto does affect you. If you don't want to believe that, just watch Yankee fans the last 2 nights. He's done that his entire career. Now, Mets fans seen him a lot with the Nationals. We've seen him in the playoffs with the Padres against the Mets. He's done that in situations where teams don't pay no mind to him on the base path. And he gets amazing jumps. He leaves early and he catches the pitcher off guard. That has been a thing with him his entire career. He's done that. He's not a big stolen base guy, but when he thinks he can take a base, he will. And he's done that his entire career. Now, I know Yankee fans only focus on what Juan Soto did with the Yankees and don't care what he does any other time, but he's done that his entire career. So the Yankees, who had the guy last year, should know that. And that's bad on the manager, that's bad on the catcher, that's bad on the pitcher, and the pitching coach and every other coach that's on that team. Somebody who actually played with Juan Soto last year should have said something. Like, it's not rocket science to figure that one out. So Juan Soto had a direct involvement in that late inning win or go-ahead run that eventually won the Mets the ball game. And again, it's not just about Juan Soto. The Mets have done this all year, not the stolen base, but just in general. When it gets late into the game and it's a close game, the Mets have been outstanding even when they have been terrible in a game with runners in scoring position or with runners on base. They find a way to trickle in that 1, possibly 2 runs to actually win a ball game. And that's what they did yesterday. And again, am I jumping for joy? No, I didn't think it was a very solid game. Now, again, overall, it was a fun game to watch, right? It was a close game. It was back and forth, a couple of hits here, bases loaded here, a couple of men on for both sides, and nobody really got that big hit, right? You know, you can hit the ball as hard as you want, or you can hit the ball as slow as you want, like the Yankees did in Game 1 with 2 dribblers in the infield that ultimately ended up in multiple runs and a couple of walks. Like, it's just that. It's just that when it comes to situations where a team can lose a game and win a game. And both sides couldn't break open the game. Any opportunity the Mets had and the Yankees had, they blew it by not opening up the game and getting insurance runs or getting to a bigger lead. And that ended up costing the Yankees, and it benefited the Mets because the Mets have been extremely good doing that when it comes to what they've done all year. Well, but that's the difference. That is the Mets of a few years ago, right? That is April of last year Mets that would have lost that game. Not 2024 Mets, because they found ways of winning those games. Even when they haven't hit in runners in scoring position in that game, they win close games. That has been what they've done the entire year. And once again, they avoided another 3-game losing streak. That has been, it's funny. Every time the Mets are on the verge of a 3-game losing streak, no matter who they play, this isn't exclusive to the Yankees, nor should it be. Griffin Cannon has been on the mound all 3 times they were on the verge of losing 3 games. And Griffin Cannon, one time he pitched, the last 2 in the possible 3-game losing streak, he pitched very well. He pitched well yesterday. And by the way, they had a hard time. Like, if Griffin Cannon didn't either walk somebody or, like, it just seemed like he was in control of the game, even though it looked like he was going to blow up in that game. But again, he's been extremely good. Like, I'm not a big fan of Griffin Cannon, but the proof is in the pudding right now. He's been outstanding. You know, if it wasn't for Senga, he'd be our best pitcher. So it is crazy to me that Griffin Cannon is doing what he's doing. Yeah, Dola, I agree. Right? I mean, the ball that goes burial of the wall is probably caught, you know, in short right field. So it wouldn't have been a homer in 4 ballparks. You are absolutely wrong, 99. I'm sorry. They said it on the broadcast. You listen to the Yankee broadcast and the Yankee broadcast. I mean, my God. Right? Can they, like, they talk about it and now they make jokes of Yankee Stadium because of that. Yeah, you can use the field all you want, but the fact of the matter is that would have been a home run in no ballpark. It would have been out in probably every ballpark because most of the right fielders will be playing a little bit more deeper instead of 309 feet in the outfield. Like, that is the other issue. So, again, it would be nice if the Mets use it to their advantage, right? Because they haven't yet. But, DJ LeMahieu, I mean, the ball barely went over the wall. But again, that's DJ LeMahieu in a nutshell. He's great going to right field. He's healthy. He's a solid addition where the Yankees needed a right-handed bat, and that's what they did. And again, Griffin Cannon shouldn't have left it over the plate. It's Yankee Stadium. You can't leave it over the middle or outside part of the plate, especially to a right-hander, because they're not trying to pull the ball. They're trying to poke it to right field. Like, unless it's like Bellinger's home run was a bomb. Like, that goes out anywhere. Right? That was a ball. That was just a slider. That was a cement mixer that didn't move. That was an excellent at-bat. But DJ LeMahieu's been playing there a couple of years now. He knows the ballpark. And you see the Mets, and you see what the Mets are trying to do. They're trying to pound everybody inside. Why? Because it's not easy to hit a ball, especially when you're a right-hander, to that left center field area, which is the biggest part of the ballpark in Yankee Stadium, right? Aaron Judge can pull in his hands and, straighten the ball out and hit it over the wall. But again, Aaron Judge is struggling in this series, right? Aaron Judge hasn't gone 0 for 5 consecutively all year, and he did it in this series. So, and again, Judge is always dangerous, right? One swing in the back can change a ball game. We all know that, right? Yesterday, they left it up to the Mets. Made sure Judge didn't beat him, right? I mean, Judge had issues catching up to the fastball, even of McGill in the first game, and then went. Wait, hold on. I'm sorry. I lost the comments. I'm sorry. I was reading something really quickly. He went 2 for 4 in game 1, yes, but from that game. And then yesterday's game, 0 for 5. So that is what they were talking about. They put up this stat there. He hasn't gone 0 for 5 all season in consecutive at-bats. So, again, what does that really mean, right? It's still Aaron Judge, right? You still don't want him to beat you. Now, the Mets, unlike the Yankees, and you just said it, 99, the Mets are not afraid of – they're going after Aaron Judge. He's been late on fastballs. They've been killing him with the sliders on the outside corner. And they've pitched predominantly well against him. On the other hand, with the Yankees, they're petrified of Juan Soto doing anything good, and they're walking him because everybody's afraid to pitch to him because they know what he'll do. So what does Juan Soto do? He'll just steal a couple of bases on you, and that's what he does. So, again, even though he doesn't impact the ball game because the Yankee pitching won't let him, he'll steal a base. So I'm still shocked the Mets are going after Aaron Judge directly. Like, again, game 1, they made sure, with the walks from McGill and everything like that, it wasn't really Aaron Judge that killed him. It was everybody else. And again, you tip the cap to the Yankees because it was everybody else. That's how you got to lose to the Yankees. Don't let Aaron Judge beat you and let the rest of the team do it. And again, they did it in game 1. And when Judge didn't do anything, it was a Bellinger home run, a solo homer from Bellinger, a solo home run from DJ LeMahieu. That was basically it. So, again, let the rest of the team beat you. Like, that's how you do it. Again, tip your cap if they do, but don't let Aaron Judge beat you. And shockingly, I'm still surprised the Mets went after Aaron Judge because last year they made every opportunity to walk Aaron Judge, which they should, and it was a big reason why the Yankees could not score. And that was even with Juan Soto. So, I think it's still a philosophy, but maybe even Aaron Judge thinks they're not going to pitch to him, and he's shocked every time he comes to the plate that they're going after him. Like, how many fastballs did he miss over the plate? Like, that's crazy. So, again, the Mets in general have pitched to Aaron Judge, which is crazy to me, but it's working at the moment. Now, will it work tonight? Who the hell knows, right? We'll see with David Peterson. You got 2 lefties on the mound tonight. With David Peterson, he's been good. He hasn't as been good as last year, but I wasn't expecting that. I know some people were, but he's been okay. He's been pretty good. So I'm not going to kill him. So I do want to see David Peterson here. I want him to step up a little bit, right? We know about the offense, right? We keep on continuing about the offense, and Oliver said it. We're going to continue to talk about the offense. We know what the offense has to do. They gotta break out. At some point, they got to break out. Do I expect it today? I have no idea. You got one of the best pitchers in the baseball on the mound for the Yankees today, and Max Fried. So, am I going to, would I be lying to you and saying that it's going to look like a good scoring night? Probably not. But you don't have to beat Max Fried. You need to work the count. You need to make them have a high pitch count, get them out of the ball game. And even though the Yankees bullpen has been good, I'd rather face the Yankees bullpen than Max Fried for more than 5 innings. Like, that's what the Mets have to do. Now, can the Mets hit Max Fried? Well, it's yet to be determined. I don't know yet, but the Yankees really couldn't hit McGill or Griffin Cannon. And nobody put that on their post on their bulletin board, saying that those two guys weren't going to really make the Yankees not hit very well. Like, it's kind of crazy because McGill, he didn't pitch well, but he walked the entire team. Like, I mean, my God. I mean, the Yankees gave him every opportunity to pitch well, and he just gave it to them. So, yeah, I was mad that they signed Griffin Cannon, but you should have been, because Griffin Cannon was the worst starting pitcher that had more than 30 starts last year. He pitched 171 innings, which is very much a lot of different pitchers pitched around 30 innings, 170 innings, and he had one of the worst ERAs with all those innings. So he wasn't good. He's never been good in his career. So to say that I was mad, you're damn right I was. But I also wanted Corbin Burns or Max Fried. So I kind of was on point with that. So, again, Griffin Cannon has to be good. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Was I wrong? I mean, it's May 18th. Like, talk to me in August when he's still pitching well. Because didn't I tell you guys about Tyler McGill? Wait until the middle of May for him to be a complete disaster. And that's what he's become once again. The pitching lab can't fix Tyler McGill. It can fix everybody else, but it can't fix Tyler McGill. Go figure. He's good for about 9 starts in the beginning of the year. Then when it gets to the middle of May, he progressively gets worse. And then it's basically no contest on the mound. He's terrible. And then he'll figure it out in August, late August, pitch about 4 or 5 good games, and then he's off the playoff roster or in the bullpen. So he has these 10 starts during the year where he's extremely good, and then the last like 10 to 12 starts, he's at best. And that has been the problem with Tyler McGill. And no pitching lab is going to fix him, because last time I checked, the Mets have had this pitching lab for a couple of years now, and McGill has been there all this time. But yet when Griffin Cannon comes in, Sean Manaea, Luis Severino, pick your poison. They've all done well with this pitching lab. So is McGill not paying attention? Is he going into the lab, watching a movie? Because he ain't paying attention. That's for sure. So, and you saw what was going on with Tyler McGill. This is his problem his entire career. He gets away from his fastball. His fastball for the first 2 innings was unhittable. They could not touch that fastball. When he got a little bit into trouble in the first inning, he started to use his breaking ball a little bit more. He goes away from his fastball and falls in love with his breaking stuff, off-speed pitches, and it gets him in trouble. And then when he tries to throw his fastball, he hasn't thrown it in a while, and then his location is bad, and he starts walking guys. That has been his MO. That has been his problem throughout his career with Tyler McGill. A big reason why the Mets were not in the game. And again, the Mets scored 1 run. I mean, the Mets weren't scoring at all. So it wasn't like the Mets were going to win the ball game. I'm not even going to say that. But it would have been a lot closer if Tyler McGill actually pitched a little bit better. Now, we could talk about the ground balls. And, he got the ground balls he needed. Sure. But he also didn't have to walk 5 guys. And most of them were in that inning. So that is the issue. Like, Tyler McGill has the stuff to be a good pitcher. But if you don't harness it and know how to use it, exactly what the pitching lab is for. They told Griffin Cannon, throw your slider more. what did he do? Throw his slider more. He throws it 10% more than he did last year, and he's been uber successful. Tyler McGill, on the other hand, you tell me the pitching lab's telling him to throw something wrong? No. He's going on the mound and probably not doing what he's planned to do. And that is the issue. And I think that's the biggest problem with Tyler McGill. It's just that he falls in love with his breaking stuff and off-speed pitches. And he gets away from his fastball, which is very good because he throws a four-seamer that you can throw letter to letter high, which most hitters are vulnerable to. And he goes away from that. And when he overthrows his slider, overthrows his breaking stuff, off-speed pitches, he loses his fastball when he does have to throw it, and it's all over the place. And that is the problem with Tyler McGill. Tyler McGill is not going to be in the starting rotation. I never wanted him in this rotation. I can find somebody else that can throw 4 innings and probably better. Like, if you're going to use a pitching prospect, to pitch 4 innings, I'd rather see Sproat, I'd rather see Jonah Tong in the rotation if you're going to give me 4 innings of bad pitching. Like, that's where I'm at. Now, Blackburn is going to be interesting. Is he going to be a part of this rotation until Sean Manaea or Montas comes back? That's a possibility. Now, you're going to get professional pitching from Blackburn. Is it going to be excellent? No. Is it going to be terrible? Possibly. But he can give you that average start where he'll give you 5 innings of 2 or 3 runs and you have a chance in a ball game. Because that's all you have to do if you're a Mets pitcher. If you haven't noticed, when the pitching of the Mets keep a team from 3 runs or less, the Mets have won more of those ball games this year than any other game. So that should be the goal. Keep it under 3 runs, and you'll have a chance of the Mets offense, even if they suck offensively in that game. For some reason, when it gets to the 7th through the 9th inning, they find a way to sketch out some runs, even though it doesn't look pretty, to either make the game close or actually win the ball game. That has been what they've done all season. So if you're a pitcher, you should be saying to yourself, 3 runs or less, 3 runs or less. Now, when it comes to pitching and innings, look, I'm a big advocate. Get your ass to the 6th inning. Are you a real pitcher if you don't go at least 5 2/3? Try to get into the 6th inning, even if you don't finish the 6th inning. At least try to get an out or 2. Like, I'm sick and tired of everybody being okay with this. Baseball has brainwashed baseball fans in thinking, well, 4 2/3, 5 innings. Well, that's a quality start. Yeah. It's bullshit. They brainwashed you into believing that, and now everybody thinks it's a good start. Like, how many times on X have you seen a team post a pitching line of a starter right after he comes out? Quality start from this guy, 5 innings, 3 runs, 4 hits, 2 walks, 5 strikeouts. Is that quality or is that below average? And baseball wants you to believe that. And I said this for a long time. Baseball has brainwashed the fans so much because baseball and owners of teams have made it a complete business decision and operation with the analytics departments and all the nerds that never played the game of baseball, and says that starters shouldn't go 5 innings, no more than 5 innings, because it doesn't make sense. It really doesn't win you a ball game. That's what they tell you, that length of a pitcher really doesn't matter. So let's use 14 guys out of a bullpen that aren't mostly any good. And the big reason behind that, it's a business model. It's a business operation. It's a business plan. They are slowly not trying to play starting pitchers, because even average starting pitchers are getting, look at Griffin Cannon, one of the worst pitchers in baseball last year, got almost $5 million from the Mets. Now, doesn't seem like a lot, but average that out over a lot of below average pitchers that get $5 to $10 million. Like, that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to hone out the Max Fried contracts, the Corbin Burns contracts, and so on and so forth. All those big pitching contracts. That is the problem. That's what they are trying to eliminate. And if you don't see that, just wait until the collective bargaining agreement happens, and we're going to hear all the nice stories the players union is going to tell you when this MLB goes on and the players go on strike. Like, that is obvious what they're trying to do here. David Stearns is part of that problem. Now, he's been outstanding when it comes to figuring out these pitchers and putting them in the labs and pinpointing certain guys, but he's been part of the problem. And again, somebody has to win a World Series. So when it's a team that looks like they didn't use a lot of starting pitching, everybody's like, oh, well, look at the lab, look at their minor league system, look at their bullpen. And it's like they get these sports channels to like believe in them and probably, all the money that they spend on them and say, say this, say that. So that is the issue. No, what I said was I rather would have Corbin Burns. I think the Mets should have went after Crochet and should have went after Castillo. Max Fried, I didn't say I didn't want him. If it happened to be an option and it wasn't Corbin Burns, I would like Max Fried because it is only money. But the Mets weren't going to do that, clearly. So with Castillo and Crochet, Crochet has pitched well, right? Look at all the innings he's throwing, right? Everybody worried about him. He's been damn good. Now, Castillo has been solid. I still rather have him, to be quite honest with you, because these guys got track records. Griffin Cannon has a bad track record, right? David Peterson, until last year, half the Mets didn't even want him in this rotation. Mets fans didn't want him in this rotation. So it's amazing that the fact, and again, and Dolo just said it, I was just about to say that. The Mets know Max Fried very well. Right? We know the Braves weren't going to sign him for a big contract. They never do. The Mets, and again, Fried had a couple of injuries the last couple of years. It was a dangerous game to play with the projected injuries that a lot of teams saw. The Yankees, we all know, once they lost Soto, they had to make a big signing. We all know why they signed Max Fried, and that was before Garrett Cole got hurt. They were so butthurt by Juan Soto going to the Mets. They knew they had to make a signing to shut up the fan base. And again, I said it from the get-go. That was a great signing by the New York Yankees. Because why not build on your strength, which was the pitching staff, with Garrett Cole, with Max Fried. Right? Having them 1-2 is damn good. But they signed him right after Soto. It was like, I don't know, not even a few days after. Because that's what it was. We all know what it was. It was a panic signing where the Yankees were continuing to tell you they don't want to give out long-term deals. They've said that, especially the pitching, and they did it. But that's okay because it was a good move at the time. I have no problem with that. But let's act like we know what it was here. So Max Fried has been outstanding, but he also it wasn't a plan B. You're going to tell me that Max Fried was on the radar of the plan B from the beginning? It wasn't. It really wasn't. They had to overpay to obtain Max Fried. They gave him the extra year because he was ready to go to the Red Sox. Because that was right after the Yankees signed Max Fried was Garrett Crochet went to the Red Sox. So the Yankees gave him the extra year, which they didn't want to go. And again, I give them credit for that. I gave credit because they went to if it was their plan B, which I still find it hard to believe, Bellinger was their plan B when it came to the outfield, which is fine. I think that's still a solid move too. But that's what it was. So, yeah, I never thought Willie Adames was going to the Yankees, to be quite honest with you. I didn't believe that at one bit. He wanted to play shortstop. And Willie, the Giants gave him an outstanding contract. I don't know if the Yankees were going to go there. But again, I had no problem with the Yankees going after Max Fried, but let's tell you what it was, right? The Yankees were going to go after Bellinger if they weren't going to want Soto. Bellinger was their plan B, which is absolutely fine. That's no problem. So, again, Max Fried is awesome. Like, you don't have to let Met fans know. We know. We all know. We've seen him for years with the Braves. He's outstanding. But there was injury concerns. And make no mistake about it. These teams that end up being desperate and in a panic move, which the Yankees were, let's be honest, they were in panic mode after that. once Juan Soto went to the Mets, because they had to right the ship a little bit, and I give them credit, they did. They definitely looked past the injuries, because there was a couple of teams other than the Red Sox. There wasn't many teams that were willing to go 7 or 8 years for Max Fried because of those medicals. Just watch the winter meetings. That's all they were talking about. So he had injury concerns. Was he that good? Hell yeah, absolutely. So again, I never have a problem with a team or an organization going after the guy if they, whatever. I don't care if it's playing A, D, F. I don't care. If you're gonna pinpoint a guy, go after him. I hate guys, pussyfooting around and tiptoeing their ways to players. If you want him, go get him. Like the Mets did with Juan Soto. Steve Cohen got on the phone and says, "What do you want?" And he made it happen. That's what I love with any organization, any owner, any GM. You want that player, go get him. I don't want to hear of excuses. Cashman didn't make excuses. Steve Cohen didn't make excuses. They got the guy they wanted, and they did it. And congratulations to them. So, 99, I find that hard to believe. I mean, even though that's possible, but again, when Brian Cashman went and talked about it on MLB Network about the Max Fried signing, he says, well, you want to build on your strength. He's going to say, build on your strength, and he put Garrett Cole's name out there. Like, you already signed Max Fried. Like, he went into spring training pitching. Now, was there concerns because, he started the year late last year? Sure. And you can absolutely be 100% true that he might be mediocre, and he is probably. Christopher, I'm definitely going to get to that. Like, I don't like the Mets lineup tonight, and I'll explain why to you. Because, I mean, when it comes to no Brett Beatty and throwing Jeff McNeil in center field and putting in another left-hander in the lineup, kind of makes no sense to me, but we'll talk about that in just a second. It is interesting that the injuries wasn't a concern for the New York Yankees. You know why? Because it would have looked really bad if they didn't sign anybody after Juan Soto, and Bellinger wasn't going to cut it. Like, everybody knew Bellinger was going to the Yankees months before. It was during the playoffs they were talking about it. Like, we all knew that. If it wasn't Juan Soto, it was going to be Bellinger and them trading for him. So, overall, it was a great signing by the Yankees. And the Mets have to deal with him tonight. Will they be successful? Am I going to be confident about it? No. Why would I be? The Mets don't score runners in scoring position anyway. I don't care who's pitching. Me and you can throw the ball. They probably won't hit runners in scoring position. But they found a way in late games, in close game situations, to get the runs they need to be successful. How they do it? Your guess is as good as mine. So when it comes to the lineup and how the Mets are going to be Max Fried, it's kind of simple, right? Get Max Fried out of the ballgame as quickly as possible. That's the goal. Like, hopefully he leaves a couple of cookies out there and the Mets hit him. Probably rare, but it's possible. The Mets know him very well. It's not like they hit them well, but they know what he's going to throw. Right? What the Mets have to do is work counts. Now, the difficult part about Max Fried is that he don't work around you. He's going after you. So you can find yourself in an 0-2 count very, very quickly if you're the New York Mets. So hopefully you're looking for a pitch that he's going to try to be aggressively in the zone, which he's done very well. And you're going to have to go after that fastball. You got to look fastball with him. Because if you're going to look for his off-speed breaking ball pitches, they're so elite that you're going to be in trouble if you're fishing those and looking for those. You got to sit on fastball. And maybe you might get that one pitch in an at-bat where you get the opportunity to do some damage. Other than that, Max Fried's going to put a chokehold on you. And he's done that his entire career. So, in my opinion, I think you got to work the counts. You got to foul a couple of pitches off, 7, 8, 9 pitch at-bats. It's going to be difficult, but work the counts. He's once in a while, he'll throw that put-away nasty curveball that he'll just buckle your knees and it'll be right in the zone and he'll strike you on a 3-2 pitch. But for the majority of the time, he's going to try to make you fish out of the zone with his off-speed breaking pitches. He's going to challenge you around the plate with his fastball. His fastball is sneaky, even though it's like 96, 97. It's sneaky because the way his motion and way his motion to the mount to the plate is, it looks very methodical and slow, and then it just boom explodes. That is where Max Fried gets his amazing pitching skills, and the way he develops his pitching and develop his motion. You'll be waiting for a pitch and then boom, 96 in your ass, and you can't get to it. So you got to be looking fastball here, right? Don't get fooled by the junk that he throws, not in the strike zone. And the Mets, you've seen it in these two games, they flail at a lot of pitches outside the zone. Alonso has been doing that as of late. Mark Vientos has been doing that as late as well, and a couple other guys have been doing it as well. Even Lindor in this series has done it a couple of times. So the fact is, Max Fried is going to be tough, but there's two ways to try to combat that. Will it be successful? Who knows? But it's probably your best chance of being successful against Max Fried. Jump on a fastball when he throws it in the zone, because he's going to be aggressive. He likes to get ahead in the counts. He's going to throw that fastball early. You got to be ready for it. But if you're going to let him throw that strike and he gets 0-1, 0-2 on you, he ain't throwing anything else in the strike zone. Maybe once in a while when he gets to 3-2, a breaking ball off speed pitches. That's where he's going to – he has you in the palm of his hands. That's what you got to avoid. So two things. Work the counts if you can. Get that fastball, jump on that fastball early in the count, because he's going to try to get ahead of you. While you work those counts, get that pitch count up, and now he can easily throw 95 to 100 pitches. I don't worry about Max Fried doing that, because he's done that in his career. So work the pitch count, and as good as the Yankees bullpen has been, you probably have a better chance against the bullpen than you do Max Fried. And that is not a knock on the Yankees bullpen, because they've been very good, really good. But I take my chances with a bullpen any day of the week over a Max Fried, to be quite honest with you. All right, let's see. What do we got? Sorry, guys, I can't click on the comments again. I wish I could, because you guys are rolling those comments out, and I appreciate that. Let's see. Pitchers like Fried need to get him. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Any good pitcher. You got to get him early, or he's going to settle in and going to be funny. Let's see. Phillies are on a roll, though. They are. But you know what? If the Mets keep on winning, it doesn't matter what the Phillies do, to be quite honest with you. Let's see. Last time Rob blocked me, the Yankee spammer. No, I don't block you. Moderators block you. I don't block you. Again, you're not a jerk, Stefan, right? You didn't say anything racist, sexist, or anything like that, or being completely, rude in a vulgar manner to the chat. You're going to talk trash. That's what sports is all about. I don't block you. There's moderators out there. I told you guys, the moderators always aren't chatting in the chat. They're monitoring you. And again, you guys know, look, there's 115 in the chat right now, or 115 on the stream. Probably about 50 of you are chatting right now. It's not easy to catch up to all the comments. So if you get blocked, I can assure you, and you always see my hands, right? My hands are moving. So my hands are moving mostly all the time when I'm talking. So while I'm talking, my hand's nowhere near the mouse. Nowhere near the mouse pad. I promise you that. And again, if I do block you, I forcefully tell you that I blocked you and the reason why. So again, I'm not like other channels. No matter who you listen to, Mets, Yankees, other sports, I don't care. If I'm going to block you, I will tell you before I block you, because of the fact that you're acting a certain way that you shouldn't, and you know you shouldn't. And that's it. I don't care if you're a Yankee fan. I always welcome players of other teams. Fans of other teams. Always. Go back to 2022, 2023. I had Philly fans all the time and Brave fans all the time. They haven't shown up in a long time. That probably because they've been stepping over themselves. They haven't been, they've been choking as of late, so they don't mostly come on. But when they do, I don't mind the trash talking. The whole point of sports is trash talking for fans. It's boring otherwise. Right? I love doing this because the trash talking is fun. Now, I mostly talk about my Mets, and I'm not trash talking a Pirates fan, because what is the Pirates fan going to do? Right? So, I love this stuff. It's fun to me. And if I can click on the damn comments, it would be nice. Yeah, but and listen, just for all you Yankee fans that might be watching or not chatting and just watching the show, there's a lot of Met fans that are very, and look, Patrick just said it, right? He drives me crazy. We go back and forth, and we almost disagree 99% of the time about the Mets. But why do I block him? Because he has a different opinion than me? No. Like, that's the whole idea. Right? Look, there would be nobody in the chat if I have to block everybody. Isn't that boring? Trash talk is fun until you get vulgar and racist and sexist. Like, that has happened before. That's when I throw you out. Like, I've banned somebody forever. Probably about 10 people who did that nonsense. I ain't here for that. I don't need that shit. Right? We're talking about sports here. We're talking about baseball here. You want to talk about that? You want to say the Mets suck, Juan Soto's a bitch, and whatever else you want to talk about? Great. Have a good time. Right? We can trash talk 5 hours a day. I don't care. But keep it to sports. That's what's important. Right? That's what we're here for. That's why I'm here, and that's why you're here in the chat. That's what I want to see from people. All right. Well, Stefan, you know what's funny tonight about Epic? And I'm going to try to click on a comment because it would be very nice if it works. And I'm clicking on them now, and they're just not working. So if one pops up, we're going to have a party, okay? Let's see. What do we got? Hold on. Come on. Hey, all right. All right, we're off to a 42-minute good start finally. All right, so it would be epic, right? You know how people are saying Juan Soto hasn't had a Met moment yet? Well, I go back to the Francisco Lindor 3-homer game against the Yankees in, 4 years ago? When he did that at Citi Field, and they had that, thing with him and Baez and Stanton and all that going back and forth, and it was a back and forth game at the end, and so Lindor had a 3-home run game and hit the game-winning home run or go-ahead home run. That was his moment. That was when Met fans finally gravitated towards Lindor because, let's be honest, Lindor was getting booed at that time. He was not doing well. He was struggling. Even though he had a good second half that year after that moment, look to 2023, and even last year in the beginning of the year, he was terrible. But the Mets fan are basically calling him the captain at this point. It takes a moment like that. Will Juan Soto have that moment today? I'm not going to say yes or no. Would it be fun? Sure, I would love him to hit 3 home runs and slowly run around the bases. Because guys, Met fans, Yankee fans, baseball fans alike, if he hits a ball, especially to right field, around the bleacher creatures, he's going to slow trot that run around home, around the bases, and he's going to take as long as possible. Again, that would be awesome, right? I think every Met fan would sign on the dotted lines for that. But all he needs to do, look what he did yesterday, right? He had one hit yesterday. They weren't really pitching to him. He was getting on base, and he made that stolen base that actually led up to the sac fly from Francisco Lindor. Like, everybody only is focused on the at-bats. When there's other things he does in a game that directly affects the game. But I love for him to wake the hell up offensively, but there's still things within a game that he does that people don't pay attention to. And it gets annoying sometimes, and I get annoyed at Met fans as well. It's like, all right, we know what he needs to do. We all want him to do that. But you can still affect the game in other ways. Baseball fans in general, forget that part. Like, there was a guy, what was it, John from Mass Bay. If you guys follow him on X, he's a big WFAN caller, Yankee fan. He goes, he said somebody said a comment. He said something back. Well, it's laughable that you won on a sac fly. Like, have you watched baseball? It happens all the time. If it drives in a run, who cares how it happens? I think we're obsessed with Juan Soto needs to do this or else. Or it's not worth it, or he's not good. It's just silly to me. So, and there's no doubt in my mind that everybody in this lineup directly gets affected by the presence of Juan Soto alone. Right? All of a sudden, nobody talks about protection for Pete Alonso, even though he had no protection all year. But when he was red hot for the first 35 games of the year, Met fans are quiet about protection for Pete Alonso. Now he's struggling, right? So Juan Soto gets no credit for being in front of him and giving him every opportunity with people on base while he's hot. And he'd get those RBIs. So last year when he struggled, it was about protection. Last time I checked, it's been Nimmo and Vientos, the same two guys that were there last year, most of the time behind him. So Juan Soto presence alone helps this team. And then what he does on the base path. So overall, guys, what do the Mets need to do? They need to work the counts against Max Fried. Difficult to do, but they need to do it, right? Don't continue to swing at that junk like you've done all series. Keep this game close, and I'm confident the Mets are going to win because they've done it all year. Why do I think otherwise? The lineup, when it comes to McNeil in center field, don't like it at all. And you put in another lefty against Max Fried. Now, again, I haven't checked, but I'm going to go on the thought that Jeff McNeil has good numbers against Max Fried. That's the only thing I can think of. Because to take Taylor out of the lineup, who's a right-handed hitter, for Jeff McNeil playing center field, I don't get that. So McNeil probably has good numbers against Max Fried. You're not taking Acuna out of the lineup. You're not going to play Beatty because they never do against lefties. And what do we need to do? How are we going to win a ball game here? 1 through 4 needs to step up, right? They kind of did yesterday, right? Juan Soto on the base paths and Lindor getting the sac fly that he needed, right? Wasn't pretty. It wasn't sexy, but it was effective. It was situational hitting when the moment called for it. Mets haven't done that a lot. It was nice to see them do it. I know most Met fans, I know you were like, you gasped for air because you were shocked they hit a sac fly because they hardly ever do that. And they did it yesterday with Lindor and Soto stealing that base, stealing third base to allow that sac fly to happen. So what do the Mets do today? We'll see. Let's be quite honest. The offense from both teams hasn't really looked very good in either of these games. I know the Yankees scored 6 runs, but a lot of it was because of Miguel walks. They had a couple of ground balls that were impossible for a defender to make a play on, and one was an error. So about 4 runs was because of walks, errors, and ground balls that weren't made in the infield. So it wasn't like anybody's hitting the ball over the yard, and it's been a lot of unlucky at-bats. It hasn't been good at all. It could be better for both teams, but that's been their struggle. That has been their struggle for both sides. So let's see if anybody can show a pulse offensively. Obviously, I want it to be the Mets. We'll see. Again, David Peterson can be sneaky good, guys. And, I understand that the Yankees are a little bit more balanced this year right-handed. But if David Peterson has his location of his fastball, he could have a very good day with this Yankee lineup. He can be very impressive. Now, we'll see if he can do that because when David Peterson has issues when he can't locate his fastball. We'll see if David Peterson can do that. It's going to be a tough go over with Max Fried on the mound for the Mets offense. But again, if he's a little bit shaky, Max Fried, in the early innings, you better get to him then. Because if you wait until the third inning when he figures it out, or even the second inning, you're going to have a long night. So 2 ways to try to beat Max Fried. Get him out of the ballgame as early as possible and go to the Yankees bullpen. The Yankees bullpen has been very good, but you probably have a better chance of hitting the bullpen than you do Max Fried. Second, work the count. Work the count. Jump on that fastball. He loves to get ahead of an at-bat. He will throw balls, especially fastballs, right over the plate. You got to be ready for him. He's done that his entire career, especially with the Braves. When hitters get in trouble, they'll take that fastball that could be hit. And when he gets ahead, that's when he starts to pick away at you. Breaking ball in the dirt, slider just outside the zone, couple of change-ups that are outside the zone. He's going to go off-speed breaking ball pitches outside the zone. The occasional hook on a 3-2 that he'll show you that will just buckle your knees and throw you over the plate and kill you. Got to get to that fastball. And we'll see if the Mets can do that tonight. So again, guys, I will be live for a watch party tonight for the Mets and Yankees game, right? First time of the year. So many people have been asking me why I haven't done it and all that stuff. And there's many reasons why I haven't, but we're going to do it today. And hopefully it's successful. So tune in 7 o'clock. Going to have live watch party. Going to have live play-by-play. We're going to have the score up, all that fun stuff as well. So tune in later tonight, 7 o'clock, an hour away from now. And I'll see you on the watch party, guys. Mets, Yankees, rubber game in the Bronx. Peterson, Fried on the mound. Who will prevail to win the first series of the Subway Series of 2025? I'll see you later at 7 o'clock, guys, for the watch party. Let's go, Mets. And I'll see you in an hour, guys. Let's go, Mets.
Seven train rumble, headed to the field. Orange and blue vibes, the energy revealed. Brooklyn to Queens, reppin'